Welcome to the Staffing Playbook podcast, the podcast where we uncover the best kept secrets in staffing and recruiting and help you turn insights into action. Welcome back to the Staffing Playbook podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Farrell, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Geneviève Bourgeois.
Geneviève. How you doing today?
I am doing fabulous. How are you?
Fantastic. I am excited about today's topic, which is, let's get the promo here, the little intro. Today's topic is From Peaks to Paychecks, Understanding Wage Trends in 2022 to Present Day. Before we get into the topic, I want to tell you about something that I just discovered and tried out yesterday, and it's just changed my world overnight.
Go on. Color me intrigued.
So OpenAI released a couple months ago their Operator AI agent, and it's for their pro users, which is $200 a month, which I'm sorry, with all the AI tools out there, I could not find myself dropping $200 until yesterday when I finally thought I'd just give it a try. Maybe I'll just cancel it the next day, get a refund or something, although I don't think they'll do that. But I follow AI trends really closely. I know you do as well. There's a lot of cool stuff that's happening, a lot of stuff that's going to happen in the future that looks really promising. And we hear this thrown around all the time. It makes all the headlines about, AI replacing jobs. And I could see that to an extent, but yesterday, using this version of ChatGPT Operator, where I have an actual AI agent that can do work for me on my behalf, now that is a reality. I'm looking at this and going, wow, this is a game changer. It's blown my mind.
Oh, okay. So here, just first of all, love AI. And I've been so intrigued and have been wanting to try this new product essentially that they're
Yeah.
offering for a while. And right now I'm like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? So
Yeah, I
give
don't know if it's
me
worth
two
the
examples of
200.
what you're doing, that you love.
Yeah. I don't know if it's worth the 200 quite yet, but the use case just seems unlimited. I don't want to give away all of what I've learned so far, although it's kind of silly to even say that because I'm not the only one using it in the staffing industry. But literally, you can have it take control of your browser. So anything you can do on a browser, this AI agent can do for you. So if you want to have it order groceries for you, if you want it to go like and share things on LinkedIn, if you have a list of connections from your lead list that you want to go and connect with on LinkedIn, it'll do that for you. It can program websites for you. I mean, just think about anything you can do in a browser. You can employ your AI agent with just little prompts to do it for you.
So,
And
like a digital assistant?
it's a digital assistant. Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. No, I mean, you think anything that you could have an assistant do in front of their computer on a browser, this can do it for you. Now, it is clunky. It's not perfect. But I know this model is being trained and I'm trying to train it. And so it's only going to get better and better. But wow, it's just become more of a reality for me today than it ever has before. That AI is really just a great tool, and it's going to make all of our lives easier, so we can focus on more impactful things. Like I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I had it doing a ton of stuff for me in Salesforce. Had a bunch of stuff going on LinkedIn. And it's a Monday. I've got meetings back to back with my team, one-on-ones, you name it, customers. And so I'm having high impact conversations with my team, with my customers, and behind the scenes, something that I could spend a whole day doing, which I do sometimes, usually on the weekends. It's doing for me on a Monday, all on autopilot as I'm just having my high impact meetings. Like that, I guess, is worth the $200 right there. Just yesterday, it was remarkable.
Listen, time is the most valuable thing that we have to offer, right? And so if you can save time, yet still get everything done, because listen, I see your team's late. You see mine.
Yeah, it's always
We
red.
work. Oh, no, or it's always like on. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
completely get it. So,
24/7. Yeah.
oh, I know. Trust me.
Yeah, so, that's a little preview. We might do a podcast down the road. I'll maybe do a status update, like 3 months using ChatGPT's operator, what I learned, what it does well, what it doesn't do well. Yeah, maybe we can do something like that, but I'm in day 2. I've been up since 1 in the morning. I could not sleep last night because I was just thinking about all the different use cases, and so, I got up at 1 and started making my list of what am I gonna try with this new software, and, yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'd probably be up until 1 doing things with that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a night owl.
Yes, that I am. Natural night owl.
See,
You
I get
are.
made fun of all the time for going to bed at, like, 9, which I don't think is that early, although everyone says, "Oh, you're going to bed at 5, Steve?" I'm like, "Shut up. No, I'm going to bed at 9, and then I'm up at 3 most mornings, sometimes a little earlier, right when you're probably going to bed."
No, I go to bed a little bit earlier these days, and
Uh-huh.
there are times I do try to go to bed at, like, 9, but then I'll be up at 3, and I'm like, "Well, what am I gonna do now?" Because, my brain's like, "I'm not working. I'm gonna wanna
Or
go
you
on, like,
could. You
social
could
media."
just ping me on Teams. I'm already in the office.
Yeah, you probably are, and the thing is, I'd rather just, like, doom scroll for a little bit, but, like, catch up on
Mhm.
things, but, like, that's kinda my time in the morning to, like, catch up on different trends,
Yeah.
and do, like, a lot of reading. My
Yeah.
brain's not ready to socialize.
Yeah, I'm with you there. In all reality, at 3, I'm doing my cold plunge, I'm reading, I'm listening to a podcast, and then I'm making my way into the office about 5 a.m.
Yeah, no, see, like, if I'm up at 5 AM, I'm like, "Alright, it's time for me to go take care of myself." I'll go to the gym, I'll do my like, an hour-long Epsom salt bath, and then I'll go take the dogs out, and, like, have my coffee, get ready,
Mhm,
just actually enjoy myself. Like, I like to take my time in the morning. I am not ready to just, like,
mhm.
hit it, book it, and run with it. I need, like, a 2 or 3 hour
Yeah,
start
yeah,
time.
you're like most people when it comes to that.
I like my routine, and in the morning, I run on island time.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, well, enough about, ChatGPT operator. I'm a kid in a candy store. I couldn't help myself, had to talk about it right now because 'cause I'm just having a blast. But let's get to the topic, today, which is understanding the wage trends in 2025. So I wanna open it up with, let's go down memory lane for those that have been in the staffing industry since COVID, for those of you that are clients of staffing. This is gonna be for both staffing companies and customers of staffing. Let's look back just 2022, right? Felt like every company was handing out raises just to keep people from quitting, right? There just wasn't the demand went through the roof after the shutdowns of COVID. People were starting to go back into work. Many did not, but they still continue to make earn a living, and so consumer demand just went through the roof. So in 2022, companies were just on these hiring frenzies, trying to get as many people as possible to get this product produced and pushed out. Fast forward to 2025, things look a little different. So what happened, right? That's the question that we're going to answer today. I'm going to break it down in detail, but the reason this matters for you, if you're listening in, wage trends don't just affect finance teams, right? This is the year of the CFO. You've heard that before. They're directly tied to our ability to recruit, fill jobs quickly, retain the right people. And so, especially for staffing firms and sales reps and recruiters, understanding this data really is a competitive advantage. Wages are just not numbers on a spreadsheet. They're the heartbeat of your hiring strategy. Uh, and so, I want to really dig into this today.
Alright. So I studied marketing with a focus in finance. So you're telling me wages, they're not just numbers on a spreadsheet. I'm like, And the thing is, I go and I look at it like I don't look at people as numbers. I look at like data as people, especially in this industry. And that's how and why and where we need to really keep reminding ourselves of that. Because what do I say all the time? People matter.
People matter.
But so, Stephen, why do you think it's super important to go and talk about the wage trends now?
Well, I'm glad you asked. No, really, this is a question behind every job rec that goes unfilled. Our clients are asking, why can't I find people? Or why can't I find the qualified people, right? And the answer really lies often within the wages. If our recruiters know the market, our sales reps can speak to the wage trends with confidence. We can become real consultants, not just order takers. And so, the top motivators for job seekers in 2025, the recent study that was conducted, 83% stated higher wages was the reason they were motivated to look and take another job. Second to that was flexible schedule at about 64%. And so I want to go through just the timeline of events, and I'm going to focus on the Utah market, just because we're home based here in Utah, and Utah was a booming economy even during the great COVID of 2020 and beyond. And so let's go. I want to take you just real briefly through the timeline. Let's go back to COVID 2020 through 2021. We're coming out of COVID. Things were uncertain, a lot of wage freezes, short-term incentives, a lot of guesswork. I remember, company after company would, force these mandatory pay cuts. I remember taking voluntary 8 hours unpaid every week. It was just a really uncertain time. And then when we moved towards the end of 2021, early 2022, that's when the rocket launched. So here specifically in Utah, because I was in Utah during this time in the staffing industry, we saw a 5% wage growth. And nationally, it was even higher. Why? If you remember the great resignation, people were quitting, jumping jobs, chasing better offers. Employees got aggressive. You remember the great resignation period, John Biev?
Yes, I do, but also it goes back to WIFMs, what's in it for me? And if you think about it, our world was literally flipped upside down and there was a lot of high inflation, interest rates, and at the end of the day, can you blame someone for wanting to take care of like themselves, their
No.
family? No.
No, not at all. Yeah, and it was just so competitive with what the government was offering. On average, someone could be making $19 an hour and not working, right? The government was incentivizing people to stay at home. And that was short-lived, but they were still, because they were making about the same. Some were making more than what they were previously making at, let's call it $15 an hour for an entry-level light industrial position. And so so companies had to get competitive. They raised their wages, and the warehouse across the street would raise them, and then this warehouse over here would raise them, and then you'd be forced to raise them just to compete with the talent because there wasn't a lot of talent. And then fast forward to 2023, the Fed started raising interest rates, which I did not love because I had to buy a house in 2023 when I had moved to Texas for a short time for a couple of years. And I left an interest rate of like 2.5% and had to get 6.9% interest, something crazy like that. I was not happy. But hiring cooled quite a bit. There wasn't as much consumer demand. Discretionary spending went down. Consumer confidence went down. Credit card debt went to an all-time high. Consumer debt, and so with that the economy was slowing, but it didn't collapse. And then 2024, last year through present day, we're seeing around here in Utah 3.2% growth. Still solid, but it's no longer, name your price for candidates. This is a employer market now. It's not a job seeker market.
And so just going back to like insights and things like that, because
Yeah,
especially on the marketing side, I mean, how many times have you asked for me to go pull reports or insights or anything?
all
Just
the time. every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry and thank you.
Sometimes they're easy. But the thing is, we use that real-time data from multiple different sources, and we have to do that to make educated decisions. And there are times where it's like, hey, this is X, Y, and Z rated of a competitive market. I mean, I've seen markets where the competition scores like 98 or 99.
Yeah.
That means you need to be within the top 20% of like
Yep.
the pay rates going out there in order to have any candidates try to even apply or even bite your ad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you were in this industry in 2022, and
I've
you were
been in this
supporting
industry for too
recruiters.
long. No.
You were supporting recruiters, right?
Yes, I was.
Um, you had an entire basically operations team looking for your help from a wage standpoint, giving you those analytics, real market data. So what did you hear from the recruiters during that 2022 spike when wages were just going crazy
Oh my goodness. Okay, so,
and jobs were going crazy,
uh,
1,000 openings?
the amount of reports I had to pull, like, legit I had to, like, time block and pull about 150 every other week,
Yeah.
just to hit all the different markets. But the thing is, recruiters were burnt out because they were trying to go and help meet the demand to, like, keep the
Yeah.
clients happy and keep the businesses going.
Yeah.
But every time we went and we tried to, like, level up or get another offer, candidates would go and be like, "Oh, here, hey, guess what? Sorry, I know that you spent the past few weeks with me or the past few days. However, for $2, I'm taking this other job elsewhere." Like, because just for an extra
Yeah.
$2 more. I mean,
Yep.
that's what, a little over 6K a year. And that was pure chaos, let's be honest. And it
Hmm.
forced us to really go and evolve fast and adapt quickly. And that's why a lot of the times if I had someone like come to me like, I'm having trouble in this market, blah, 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 da, da, I would go and look at all their job positions that they had open and their job
Yeah.
orders. I would look at the sweet spot score. Okay.
Hmm.
And I'd also pull the analytics. What do you think I found most of the time?
When you say sweet spot score, I know that's probably internal lingo.
Sorry. Okay.
So tell us what the sweet spot score is.
Okay. So think about, is this a safe job? Right.
Hmm.
Rate it on like a scale of 1 to 5, where
Yeah.
everything's going to be a 1 to 5. Okay. 5 being the best, one being the worst. Is it safe? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it paying well?
Hmm.
Is the schedule well? Okay,
Yeah.
right?
So it's the
Um,
attractiveness of the of the
and I
of
was
the
gonna
job.
say the attractiveness, but, like, also it's like some people are night owls like myself. Okay, that
Yeah.
like, all right, it's true.
Yeah.
And then also location. Is it a desirable location? Is it easy for people to come in and out and things like that?
Yeah.
So if you go and kind of break it down, like a lot of job orders, you should be able to go and like look at it. Okay. Be like,
Yeah.
all right, how is this measuring up? But so I would go look at all of that, and a lot of it is pay as well.
That's
Okay.
right. Yeah. Pays
And
always seems to always be at the top.
it's pay, benefits, things like that. Those are
Yeah.
super, super important for a lot of people, even myself.
Yep.
Look at it this way. If there's a job posting out there, before anything gets posted, you know what I like to do? I like to read it and be like, would I apply to this job?
Yeah.
If I was in this position, would I apply to it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need that with them in there. But back to your point, it was in
Mhm.
2022, it was
Yep.
when you're looking at jobs, positions that are just hard to fill, first thing you're looking at is pay.
And I gotta tell you, 90 probably I'm probably gonna go with 99% of the time, if we were having an issue recruiting in a certain area, it was because of pay wages.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of anything else on that sweet spot score.
It's interesting. I've been looking at data and there's a lot of companies that increased their pay in 2022. Presently, they've gone down closer to the 2021 rates. And I think, sales reps, if you're listening, account managers, if you're listening, you need to know the history to frame expectations with your customers. And if you're a customer of staffing and you've got wages closer to your 2021 rates, I'm sorry to say you're stuck in a time warp. Times have changed, and as a sales professional or an account manager in this industry, you need to show them what has changed and why. And I'm going to help you with that a little bit today. John Vieva are going to help you with this. But again, I'm going to focus on Utah because I spent the majority of this time in Utah, so it's just fresh on my mind. But this is really applicable to a lot of the markets out there. But Utah specifically had one of the hottest labor markets in the country. Construction was booming. So was logistics, CDL drivers, forklift operators, assembly. Wages for these roles skyrocketed in 2022, and I know they did across the country for these positions because they were sought after because people were buying things that needed to be made and shipped out. Right?
Correct. You're not wrong there. I mean, I saw it even here in Charlotte.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. Um, so that's going back to 2022. Um, if you look at the roles for like forklift and CDL, like back in 2020, clients were offering $16 an hour for experienced forklift driver. You remember those days?
Oh,
$16 an hour was great.
oh yeah. I remember, and it's like you could throw out one or two job postings and you'd have at least 100 applicants.
Is John Viev there for a minute? There you are. You're back.
You're the one freezing.
Oh, it probably is me. Okay. All right. Well,
All
we're
right.
still good. So, um, what I was saying, sorry. 16 an
We
hour.
continued.
Yeah, 16 an hour was good for a forklift driver back in 2020. You're not getting anyone today under $20 an hour, at least along the Wasatch Front here. CDL drivers, 35 or sorry, 25 to $30 an hour is the floor now. I tell you right now, if you're paying less than $30 an hour for a Class A or Class B driver, you're gonna have a hard time getting them.
And
Um,
don't even forget about the special endorsements, okay? If
that's
they have
right.
hazmat or TWIC, I mean, it's probably gonna be closer to a minimum of what, 35? Depending on the market. And I've
Yeah.
pulled so many insights across the nation
Yeah.
specifically for that. And there are some places where I'm like, wow, I should become a truck driver.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and that's real inflation. Plus, you have the housing pressure that we have across the country. Utah's medium wage growth hit about 5.1% in 2022. That was 20% above the national average at the time.
Really. I'm sorry. I'm just like, that's a hard fact. All right. That just I'm like, woo, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. That whole 20% above the national average. I mean, I gotta tell you, even previously, Utah was always one of the more difficult markets I actually had to go do marketing for because of I don't even think it was just the cost of living there. I mean, it was just because of a lot of different issues. Is it wage? Is it this? And sometimes it would actually be a really good, well-paying job.
yeah.
So I mean, what is it? I mean, you know Utah much better than I do.
Yeah, it was just so competitive, and the unemployment level was so low during this time. Utah just really bounced back before anybody else, um, and so if we fast forward to 2025, and we're still got companies looking at wages they've been paying since 2020, there's a real problem here. Um, for you, John Viev, because you supported a lot of sales and recruiting side during this time. How did we educate clients here during this period?
Okay. First of all, the proof is in the data. Numbers do not lie. All right.
That's
So
right.
we got to provide that to our people, right? But we have to go and give our clients context to what's actually going on in that market. Our recruiters, They are well trained and they also pull market data, but sometimes I can go pull some different data for
Mm,
them to really add in an extra oomph of, hey, this is that. Like I had
yeah,
people go give me calls. Hey, Jean-Pierre, I'm having an issue with this. I've already pulled that. Can you help? It's about
yeah,
managing your resources. But when you go and take that real time data and wage data, especially at that point in time, you've got to go give the feedback to the actual client
yep,
because your candidates are not lying. Sometimes you could be, smiling, dialing, talking to a candidate, and they're like, oh, well, here. And the thing is, a lot of our recruiters would actually go and document that what
mhm,
they were making, what they were looking for, what they needed. And
yep,
this is the data and the information that our sales team could go leverage and use to go bring back to the client, okay? Because
yep,
we also have other resources like different job boards and different analytics from there, but also Lightcast. And this actually enabled our sales team to have better and stronger conversations with our clients and even
yep,
potential clients to really help move the needle.
yeah. Yeah, that real-time candidate feedback, that's boots on the ground, and then you're getting real-time analytics from tools like Lightcast, which is just great, a great tool for most up-to-date, wage analytics and beyond. Um, so let's talk about what's happening now. That's really where we want to be today. So wage growth has slowed, but it's still outpacing inflation, just barely. It's not a frenzy anymore. The difference now is employers want stability, right? They it You went from I need 1,000 people to now today it's like, yeah, we're good. We need a couple people. They're focused on retention more than desperate hiring, which we're guilty of as a staffing industry of that desperate hiring. It's very transactional, and that was really exposed during COVID, and it's shifted, and for good reason. And so our clients, your prospective clients out there, are focused on retention, and they're not focused on that desperate hiring where they have 100 positions to fill by tomorrow.
I, my goodness, no, trust me, don't even get me started on it. I wrote the whole ebook on it.
You
Um,
sure did. That's right.
well, based off of like
Shameless plug.
turnover
Go
and
download our ebook.
sorry, yes, please. Turning the tide on turnover.
Yes.
Um, you can go find it at youremploymentsolutions.com and it's free to download. But there's a bunch of great information out there. Okay, there really is because okay, retention, it costs like that's huge. That's a value added item for our clients. But turnover, if we're just giving them anyone off the street, it's like, oh, here, we want to make sure it's a good fit because the thing is, the cost of hiring someone, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
And this is why when you go put someone on assignment, you need to go give that candidate a call or actually no, that employee, that associate now. Give them a
Yeah.
call. Hey, how was day one? How did everything go? You've got to go check in on them. It is so important to hear what the candidates are saying. All
Yeah.
right. I mean, so Stephen, my question is,
Mhm.
what are you hearing the candidates say now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not short of talking to candidates out there. A lot of people are looking for higher paying jobs or second or third jobs. First time in recorded history that back in February of 2025 that we had over 9 million people with second jobs in the U.S. So what it comes down to is they still want good pay, but flexibility and respect are also top of mind. If a company offers a dollar more, but it's just a toxic culture, they can feel it's toxic. They're going to pass. And our recruiters hear this. Culture matters more than ever. Pay is still number one. Culture is number two, but sometimes culture can topple pay if it's just a dollar more an hour. And so I really, we've heard the phrase the great resignation. I think we've moved from the great resignation to the great re-evaluation, and people are still watching how companies treat them. And so, just from where I'm sitting, staffing firms must position themselves as advisors, When a recruiter hears consistent feedback from candidates, that's intelligence that we should bring back to our clients along with the supporting data. And at the end of the day, it's not selling candidates, it's selling solutions. And so you got to have the right candidate to solve that particular solution, but it's no longer just throwing warm bodies at a problem. You have to sell that solution. And that is having great candidates and getting that feedback to the client so they can adjust their compensation structure to retain those individuals.
All right. So if we could just break that down, just play by play, something that everyone here can go and walk away with today and start implementing today. You would go and break it down how?
So first, pay fairly, know your market, um, be transparent. If someone asks for $21 an hour and your customer is offering 18, or if you're a hiring manager listening in today and you're interviewing candidates that are coming from a staffing firm, and you've got this great candidate in front of you, exactly what you're looking for, but they're asking for 21, you're offering 18. You have to have a conversation about total value. Uh, so there, you could have some other benefits that might help improve that total wage offering, because it's not just the wage, it's also the benefits, it's the schedule, it's the paid time off. Things like that will blend into that total wage offering. So maybe that 18 is worth 21 or maybe even $22 an hour. And I'd say lastly, stay flexible. Be flexible with your offering. And if you're truly looking for that maintenance tech, which is the unicorn out there in the manufacturing world, yeah, you got to be super flexible, and that is where you're going to win.
Okay. So just going to follow this up. So essentially, we've talked about this previously on other episodes, but that whole consultant approach, being a
That's right.
real problem solver, but so pay, market, transparency, communication, all right,
Yep,
wage offerings, and being flexible.
you got it.
All right. I took my notes.
So I have a question for you, since you're hitting me with these.
Uh-oh.
What's the staffing firm? Is a staffing firm? What's your role in all of this?
Okay. So for staffing firms, I like to think of us as being a bridge. Okay. We have our sales team that must use data, wage
Yeah.
trends to build the trust of urgency. All right. And just
Mm,
seeing if something's a competitive market. Okay. And then our recruiters, they need to be able to go and guide our candidates to a good long term fit. Right. And leadership must keep us all informed on actual data that's happening real time, because
mhm.
this way we need to be able to stay ahead of the curve. Well, you can't be caught behind. You need to be proactive, not reactive, especially within the staffing realm.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. I like all of those. That last point, though, leadership. If you're a sales leader, operations leader, you have got to be well informed with what's going on in the market. And you got to be looking at those trends. You got to be looking at the data. What is it telling you? And you've got to be sharing that with your team. You've got to be a strategic thinker to make sure that you're ahead of the curve. And so, yeah, wage trends, build trust, recruiters, really managing that long term fit with the candidate and the customer, setting realistic expectations, being transparent. Yeah, I agree with you. That's certainly our role in 2025 to better support not only our customers but also our clients, which is our other customers, or I mean associates who are our customers as well, and making sure they're both being taken care of and aligned.
And the thing is, we're essentially offering a solution for both sides. Candidate needs a job, right? And
That's right.
stability in their life. Client needs someone to work and get something done to keep business operating. And this is where we're a bridge,
Yeah.
where we connect the two.
Yeah, and a sneak preview for upcoming episode. We've got a special guest, a returning guest, Tina, who's an owner of a staffing firm here in Utah. We're going to be talking about setting expectations with your jobs, with your clients, with your candidates. It's going to be really impactful conversations. So sneak peek there. John Viev, let me recap what we've discussed today. You let me know if I missed anything.
Will do.
So wage expectations hit their peak in 2022, but they remained high. Here in Utah and just across the country, the housing and economic growth are keeping pressure on wages, that inflation. Tariffs is a whole nother conversation we'll save for a future episode. Candidates want more than a paycheck. They want purpose and flexibility. They have been clear and loud, never been louder before. They want that purpose and flexibility. Staffing firms they're not just vendors. We interpret the market, what it looks like. So we're interpreters of the labor market, among many other things. Recruiters must understand wage dynamics to guide placements that stick, because we're not looking for fill and bill. We're looking for the right fit for the right job the first time. And sales reps, every time. That's right. Thank you. Sales reps must lead with insight, not just pricing, although most of you will disagree on the pricing side because it's competitive dog world. But if you want to lead, you're going to lead with insights. Pricing will come. Did I miss anything?
No. If anything, the only thing I would go and add about into this, it's like, hey, communication is key. You need to communicate the wages, right? You need to communicate with your clients, your candidates, all of that. So that's the only thing.
It's good.
Well done. Thank you for taking us play by play.
Play by play. If you don't win the wage war by racing to the bottom, you'll win it by knowing where the market is and getting there first. So stay ahead in your wages. I know it's hard. It's unpredictable right now. But the labor shortage is going to widen. That gap's going to continue to widen over the next couple decades, and it's just around the corner. And some of those markets, you're already feeling it. Healthcare, the logistics space with CDL drivers, we're seeing that gap get wider and wider. And so, if you want to be there first, to get to the candidates first, you got to have an attractive wage offering.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope this episode gave you clarity. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, share with a client, share with your colleagues, and make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. We've got an episode every Friday. So until next time, adapt to wage trends before they adapt you.
All right. We'll see you next time on the Staffing Playbook podcast.
6 months ago, I get a call from Steve Farrell, who wants to talk about partnering with Yes for our labor needs. It would
change your approach to staffing.
I told him I've already used multiple agencies and have had headaches with each one. So my approach to staffing is just fine.
With multiple agencies, we thought we had our staffing needs covered.
Hey, the agency employees didn't show up, so we're short on staff again. I'm sorry.
Focus. Curses. Fetch.
Hey, an agency sent an employee.
Do you have production experience?
I've produced YouTube videos. I'm hungry. When's my first break?
This is not sustainable. If you want happy customers and a healthy business, something's gotta change. So yes, we tried Yes.